galaxy.
Despite all the uncertainties around the world, we do have some reports. Fiat Chrysler proposing a merger with French automaker Renault. Each automaker would be an equal partner in the combined company, which would be the world's third largest auto producer. Renault is reviewing that proposal. French officials are already saying that any tie-up has to protect jobs. France currently has a 15% stake in Renault. Would have about 9 million units a year. It'd be ahead of GM, although behind Volkswagen.
Number 4 in North America, number 3 worldwide. You know, Renault has a decent presence in EV. And Fiat Chrysler, under its previous, of course, CEO, Marchionni, had really been focused on automated cars, on autonomous and what was coming. And so you'd imagine the combination could be favorable there. They're not talking about any job cuts, as you might imagine they would. Right. They are talking, however, about, what is it, $5 billion €5 billion of estimated annual run rate synergies incremental to existing alliance synergies. The most of that would come from synergies from purchasing savings. And that would take almost 6 years. By the end of year 6 following closing is when they would realize the full effect of that €5 billion. But that's a big number. You're also, if you're an FCA shareholder, going to get a €2.5 billion dividend. That'll just even things out in terms of the economics so they can really do a 50-50 ownership.
Well, when I read into this, what I thought was interesting was, along with another article, the French government immediately says no layoffs. It's interesting that the savings are supply chain, not labor. And yet we have way too many people who work for autos. Now, I don't want to say that anyone's a surplus person. I don't mean to be too harsh, but I thought that they would talk about savings and employment. No.
Yeah, they talk about convergence of platforms, consolidation of powertrain and electrification investment, and the benefits, obviously, of scale, as you say, purchasing savings, R&D efficiencies, manufacturing and tooling efficiencies.
But not layoffs.
Which you can't talk about.
Not allowed to talk about layoffs.
Or merging with a French company.
You're not allowed to talk about layoffs.
No. And by the way, I don't think you're allowed to anymore here in this country either.
Well, you saw the Times piece over the weekend about some of the workers who were been cut from Lordstown.
Yes.
Unbelievable human stories about people who turned to President Obama, now turned to President Trump, and basically getting the same results.
And then there I was in Mexico this weekend, and I stopped at a new Toyota plant. I mean, it's monumental. 3 football fields. Mercedes plant goes on for miles. What's next to it? A glass plant, an electrics plant, windshield wipers. You know, everything that goes, paint, the entertainment, everything. And, you know, people talk about the multiplier factor of a factory. Oh, my. You can turn a whole country, a whole city, whole state around. And yet, it's Lord's now, believe me.